Stop everything you're doing, because what you're about to hear will completely flip your expectations about real estate on its head. Imagine buying a house for less than a used Honda Civic. No, that's not a typo. Or what if you could claim a piece of land for just a few dollars and a handshake? Sound like a prank, a glitch in the Matrix, or some wild Craigslist scam? Think again. Welcome to 10 US towns where home prices are so low, you'll think it's a scam. This isn't your usual Zillow window shopping. It's a deep dive into forgotten, eerie, and sometimes downright bizarre corners of America where home prices have cratered so hard you'll have to double-take every listing. Now here's the kicker. These towns aren't just cheap, they come with stories that would make a thriller writer jealous. From ghost towns where neighbors might be supernatural, to cities with craters in the streets bigger than your living room, to places haunted by history, mystery, and yes, even some legends better left unspoken. Hold tight, because in the next few minutes you'll meet small towns with homes priced less than your last Uber ride, where the only neighbors you might see are raccoons or ghosts, and where a mortgage payment is almost laughable. If only the crime rates and creepy legends didn't make you think twice. Would you risk it all for a house so cheap it's practically a steal? Or is there a price even your wallet can't pay? You're about to stumble on real estate deals that feel like scams, but they aren't. They're the dark secrets of America's housing market. A world where affordability comes with a twist, and cheap means wild, mysterious, and sometimes downright scary. Ready? Let's take the plunge into this countdown and find out if your dream home is waiting in one of these unbelievable towns, or if the ghosts already got there first. On number 10, Detroit, Michigan. Detroit isn't just cheap, it's legendary in its boom and bust narrative. Once the proud Motor City, the place that gave the world Ford, Motown, and a symbol of industrial strength, Detroit saw its fortunes crash at epic speed. Now, entire neighborhoods lie in wait, with median home prices dipping under $10,000 in some spots. Let that sink in. A real house, deed in hand, for the cost of a year's lattes. But Detroit is more than just empty lots and bargain homes. It's alive with a raw, unpredictable energy. Vacancy rates top 20%, and some blocks are so empty it looks almost post-apocalyptic. Here's your first mini-hook. Would you walk into a city where odds are your mailbox might get stolen, but you could rewrite your life for pocket change? Add in the essentials. Cost of living about 9% below the national average, a startup scene that refuses to die, and people cultivating tomatoes in potholes. Dodge the potholes. They're the size of craters. Detroit drivers are legendary, and local urban farming is a sign of grit. But don't go in naive. Utilities are high, and the crime rate stands at a jaw-dropping 1,965 violent crimes per 100,000. Yet optimism brews. Ford is back. Tech startups are quietly testing new ideas. Here's what no one tells you. Detroit doesn't want your pity. It wants your hustle. Buy low, bring ambition, and join a city where survival is a daily sport. Would you become Detroit's newest urban hero, or would you get out when you saw your Prius swallowed by a pothole? On number 9, Flint, Michigan. Flint's reputation is forged in fire and water. Known for General Motors, historic labor battles, and that infamous water crisis, Flint's tenacity is etched into every street. Here's the jaw-dropper. Homes for around $45,000. A real house, not a shed, and average rents at $800. The cost of living here sits 23% below the national average, giving you flexibility in your budget. But the backdrop is stark. Flint's crime rate hovers at about 1,888 violent crimes per 100,000, 4 times the US average. Unemployment has battered much of the population, though auto manufacturing is slowly clawing its way back. Mini-hook. Imagine saving a fortune on housing, only for the random disaster mode in SimCity to permanently activate in real life. Could you handle firework wars every Tuesday in July, coney dogs on every corner, and DIY car repairs as a lifestyle? Here, normal means loud, gritty, and heartbreakingly authentic. A place where a $600 rental comes with stories, not just square footage. Would you live in a place where rent is dirt cheap, but peace of mind isn't part of the leasing agreement? On number 8, McAllen, Texas. McAllen packs a punch most towns dream about, ultra-affordable living with extra flavor. Right on the US-Mexico border, this town blends cultures, palm trees, and taco trucks in a space where the median home price sits at $24,000. Yes, you read that right, less than most folks' car payments. But McAllen isn't just cheap. It sports an international airport, 2 Target stores, and rents averaging $850. Unemployment is surprisingly low, at just 4%, and property taxes are among the lowest in Texas. A massive win for buyers. Could you handle 50 shades of summer heat, mosquito armies, and endless bilingual street signs if it meant owning your own piece of the American dream for less than a mortgage app would even show? Culture here is all in, lively, multicultural, and politically charged, with endless debates and local flavor. The 2 seasons, hot and are you kidding me, mean boiling pavement and boiling tempers. And yet, McAllen is quietly becoming a hidden gem for those willing to trade comfort for cost. Would you go full McAllen if it meant a big home and a big life for small change? On number 7, Kansas City, Missouri. Kansas City is the home of jazz, fountains, and BBQ, but also shockingly affordable homes for those who dare. It's a city divided. On one side, rolling streets lined with trees and distant saxophones. On the other, rough neighborhoods where houses can be scooped up for $43,000. The cost of living here sits 21% below the national average, and rents under $800 make the city a potential goldmine for investors and dreamers. Still, the crime rate is high, 1,700 violent crimes per 100,000, and the unemployment rate sits above average. Don't expect perfect infrastructure either. The city might eat up your tires just as fast as your ambition. Would you park your life in Kansas City knowing you'd inherit a brisket recipe and a mortgage lower than your phone bill, while raccoon gangs threaten your garbage? Neighborhoods are transforming thanks to local developers and art collectives. Kansas City's contradiction, beauty, and chaos makes for a thrilling, unpredictable life. Would you take on a fixer-upper in a sketchy part of town if the price was jaw-droppingly low? On number 6, Greenville, Mississippi. In Greenville, the blues are more than just music. They echo through dusty roads, old brick storefronts, and homes selling for less than the price of a used jet ski. Median home price, $81,800. Rent, $670. And that southern charm is real. Neighbors know your middle name and expect you to wave every time you pass. On paper, Greenville is a bargain. Cost of living 30% below the norm, dirt-cheap mortgages, and wraparound porches made for sweet tea and steel guitar. But the local economy depends on catfish festivals and small casinos. Work can be hard to find, and the crime rate is over 1,200 per 100,000. Could you embrace a town where humidity hits 97%? Mosquitoes carry off lunch bags, and ghost stories come standard with the property deed. Greenville's history is deep. Civil rights marches, the birthplace of blues legends, and a community rooted in stories. If you're looking for predictability, this isn't your spot. Would you trade weather, bugs, and unpredictability for true southern peace at $700 a month? On number 5, Cheney, Michigan. Now for something truly different, a ghost town where land is almost free, neighbors are mostly ghosts, and the local legend is stronger than any neighborhood association. Once a booming lumber town, Cheney fell to fire, diphtheria, and an infamous curse. Today, land here sells for under $1,000 an acre. Population is officially zero. There's no job market, no crime, unless you count supernatural activity, and no rent, because there are no homes, just forest and tombstones. Urban explorers whisper of glowing orbs above backyards and stories passed down from local witches. Would you move where your neighbors float and Wi-Fi is a distant dream? Could peace and quiet be worth living on the edge of legend? Buying land in Cheney is a bet not just on quiet, but on courage. Would you camp where the only bars you'll get are ghost stories? On number 4, Moonville, Ohio. Moonville is an abandoned coal town with a haunted railroad tunnel and no permanent residents. Land is dirt cheap, rent is zero, and you'll be buying into pure Americana horror fiction. The infamous Moonville Tunnel is home to at least 4 ghosts, and the surrounding area offers lots for $1,500 an acre. Life in Moonville is peaceful if you ignore the ghosts and bugs that attack with purpose. Crime rate is zero, but the job market means a daily commute through history, or, if you're brave, a side hustle hosting tourists hoping for a haunted Airbnb. Would you build a new life surrounded by trees, birdsong, and phantom footsteps echoing across the property line? Moonville attracts those who want privacy and creepy silence, trading modern comforts for legendary status. Are you bold enough to build your dream, if it means laundry beside a ghost brakeman? On number 3, Portlock, Alaska. Welcome to Portlock, a town so haunted and mysterious its old residents fled en masse, literally leaving behind cabins and post office keys. Nicknamed Port Chatham, it offers dirt-cheap land at $1,000 an acre, but the amenities list is a showdown with reality. No utilities, no grocery store, and no formal neighbors except wildlife and reports of Nantian, a Bigfoot-like creature. Crime rate is zero, but the stories of monsters, missing hunters, and endless fog make living here an adventure few dare start. The Alaskan daylight is either overwhelming or non-existent. Summer brings sun until 3 a.m. Winter feels like a vampire's cave. Is the thrill of living off the grid worth trading safety, community, and the guarantee of Amazon Prime? Portlock is for the brave. Would you live where the last known population vanished, and your only company is moose and a foreboding mist? On number 2, Govan, Washington. Govan offers the chance to buy a whole town. Yes, an entire ghost town for less than a used Subaru. Median parcel price under $5,000. Population 3, pets included. There's a schoolhouse with a collapsed steeple, and the local history reads like a horror script. Axe murders, a judge's mysterious death, and more. The silence here is profound. Groceries are a 40-minute drive away, and the only police are the local raccoons. Small-town living means total control. You could be mayor, sheriff, and postmaster by afternoon tea. Would you sacrifice convenience for a piece of history and absolute solitude, even if your neighbors are whispered names in old newspapers? Govan is rugged, beautiful, and lonely. The perfect spot for anyone who wants to escape modern life, but not the ghosts of the past. Would you take it? On number 1, Buler, Pennsylvania. Buler's the stuff legends are made of, a spiritual utopia turned ghost town, abandoned and haunted by its stories and moss-covered headstones. Settled by Welsh immigrants with big dreams, the town dissolved into memory, leaving behind dirt-cheap land, sometimes just $1 and a handshake. No rent, no jobs, no real resale value. Just peace, eerie silence, and the faint possibility of becoming a viral TikTok feature on haunted places. Bugs here rule, and unexplainable lights hover over gravestones, adding to the surreal, spooky atmosphere. How brave are you? Would you move in, sip tea on a porch, while fog creeps along old cemetery grounds, and let Buler's secrets become your new story? So let's recap. America's wildest deals are out there, in places where every price tag comes bundled with local lore, a side of danger, and the chance to become a legend yourself. Are you ready to break the mold, escape the expected, and try living where the price is so low, you'll double-check it's not a scam? Let me know, which town would you pack up and move to? Are you team haunted bargain, or do you pass on low prices with high mystery? For more deep dives on weird cities, housing hacks, and unmissable real estate secrets, smash that like button, subscribe, and drop your wildest choice in the comments. See you in next week's deep dive, maybe from a haunted porch with a wraparound view.